Have you ever run into this situation before? You pick up an old remote you've used for years, press the buttons out of habit, and nothing really happens. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. The buttons feel worn, the response is slow, and you end up pressing harder like that might somehow help. It's a familiar story, something that once worked perfectly, now slowly wearing down with time until it just isn't reliable anymore. But instead of throwing it away, here's the good part. In this video I'll show you how to bring it back to life step by step. Alright, let's get to it. The first step is to take this remote apart piece by piece so we can understand what's actually going on inside. Once everything is separated, it becomes much easier to inspect the condition and deal with each part individually. Getting this part open isn't difficult. All you need is a small flathead screwdriver to gently pry it apart. According to findings from a scientific publication, the power button on a remote is usually the one that takes the most wear. When the batteries start running low, the signal sent to the TV becomes inconsistent, and we naturally press harder on the power button, hoping it will respond. Over time, that repeated pressure adds up, causing the button to lose sensitivity and become less responsive. WD-40 multipurpose oil is going to be the thing that helps bring this TV remote back to life. The reason is pretty straightforward. Over time, dust, moisture, and oxidation build up on the contact surfaces inside the buttons. That thin layer is enough to weaken the electrical connection, making the buttons feel unresponsive. WD-40 helps clean those contacts, break down the buildup, and restore a more stable connection so the buttons can register properly again. And it's not just useful in this situation. Around the house, WD-40 is one of those go-to fixes, from loosening rusty screws, stopping squeaky hinges, to cleaning small electrical contacts like this. It's simple, accessible, and does the job without making things complicated. At the same time, you can dip a cotton swab in a small amount of WD-40 and gently clean both the circuit board and the rubber keypad. This helps remove dirt and restores better contact across the entire control surface. After cleaning, I'll use a heat gun to thoroughly dry the circuit board, making sure all moisture is gone and everything is ready for the next step. Maybe no one's ever shared this little trick with you before. A simple pencil can actually help bring the power button back to life, and there's a solid reason behind it. Inside the remote, the button works by pressing a conductive pad on the rubber keypad onto the contact points on the circuit board. Over time, that conductive layer wears down, gets dirty, or loses its effectiveness, which weakens the electrical signal. When you lightly shade the power button area on both the rubber keypad and the circuit board, you're adding a thin layer of graphite. Graphite is a conductive material, so it helps rebuild that electrical pathway between the two surfaces. As a result, the contact becomes more stable, and the button responds much more reliably. It's a simple trick, but once you understand what's happening underneath, it makes perfect sense why it works. Alright, that takes care of it. Now I'll go ahead and put the remote back together just like it was originally. Very responsive, just like it was when you first got it. It's amazing how a few simple steps, a little cleaning, some WD-40, and even a humble pencil, can bring something back to life. This isn't just about fixing a remote. It's a reminder that with a little care and understanding, things we think are worn out can still serve us well. Taking the time to inspect, clean, and restore each part not only brings functionality back, but it also gives a sense of satisfaction. Seeing something old work smoothly again is genuinely rewarding. So next time you see an old gadget gathering dust, don't rush to throw it away. Maybe all it needs is a little patience and a few clever tricks, and it can surprise you by working perfectly once more.